Hey, Sundance. How are you? Sundance is wearing a suit because he has a skin problem. Right now the sun is shining on me. The sun is my favorite guru in its teaching of radiant silence. And I sit and absorb it, I receive it, and then when I'm full, I radiate it back. And then this receiving and radiating it back, this receiving and giving, merges into one, and it's just quiet. Just this quiet radiance coming and giving. And that's what I call the big I, or your I am. And when I sit as that, there is still something else that is aware of that silent radiance. Beyond that, I can't go any farther. Beyond that, I have to... Hello, airplane. I surrender that. Just as in a way, when I fill up with the radiance of the sun, I surrender that individuality that is receiving and become something larger that is giving and receiving, and then larger still, so to speak, quieter still. Even though the noise is going on, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect me. So it's like a way to look at this, the big I. It's like your physical body is like a light bulb. And what I call the spine of your life is like the filament of the light bulb. I'll wait for the airplane. This is life. Life is full of disturbance as we are quiet. People say things to us, things happen. It doesn't go the way we want, the way we expected. So we have within this light bulb of the physical body these little places that react to happenings in this world. And they draw us back in to thinking and our littleness. The radiance is still there, didn't go anywhere. We forgot it. It's as if we chose to inhabit a dark little space of trapped energy. And then we react and we think, we tighten and we don't breathe. So this whole idea of self-realization is really abiding as that radiance and beyond. But so many people have such a difficult time, first of all, finding this sort of individual radiance that is radiating, this I, It can't even move beyond that. Because of all these tendencies, they call them vasanas, I call them spins in the circle. We're in a circle right now. So this light bulb of you is like this circle. And it's got all these little spots in it that the radiance passes through or around, but it can't get into them because they're tight. They're little eyes that have little stories and little reactions. And they bring us into them and out of the greater radiance. So these little black holes, we must find a way to expand them so that they can rejoin the one. And so all this I call the medicine of one. Because what we want to do is take that little dark hole story, little eye, and bring it in to the radiant big eye, which is life and breathing and consciousness. So in this sense of being a light bulb, your physical body, the 5 elements come together to allow, and a light bulb, to my knowledge, doesn't have water in it. But it's not a living form. What gives life, what is essential to life, is water. So all these 5 elements, air, earth, water, space. Space lets things move. Even there's space inside of a light bulb. Without that space and air, there would be no light. But we sort of have to trap it. So there's the filament, the space, the physical light bulb, and the quiet light. So think of your big eye is the quiet light. Your I-ness is the quiet light. You're here. It's here. It's quiet. Light is not noisy. It's a vibration, but it's not noisy. It's very silent. Even though within it can be all these noises. They're doing construction over here, the plane, the helicopters. Life is full of change and movement. We can't control it. All we can do is here. Come back to here. So within these 5 elements, your organs connect to those 5 elements. Hello, Raven. And then out of all that comes the mind. He's laughing at me. What are you doing, Clay? You silly fool. Yes, I'm conceptualizing. I know. The mind is a go-between between the radiance and the physical body. The mind is the ego. It's what helps us deal with this world. It helps us navigate it. It's thinking, though. When we're in survival and challenged, we are completely the mind, the ego, directed toward this physical being, and we go, that's who I am. We forget who we are, which is the radiant silence, the big I. And we think we're all these little eyes and all their little stories. We are what we think. So that which is meant to bridge the radiance with the physical body now becomes a wall of thought and beliefs, which is made up of all these tendencies and stories and reactions that seem like a wall, and we can't get to our, first of all, our separate radiance, and then that which unites with the greater radiance and beyond. Over and over again, people can't do it because they're instructed to be the radiance to all their thinking and the ego, but it's so strong and so loud they can't hear the quiet. So medicine of one is a way to help these dark hole places to open up and expand so that they no longer draw you into them, and it's much easier to rest in the radiant big eye and beyond. And at the same time, we're invoking that radiance to our emotional reactions. So it's like within this light bulb is like the sky with all the weather and all our reactions: lightning, thunder, rain, dust storms, tornadoes. And they sweep us into it, and we hate them, and we tighten, and they stay there, and they keep coming back. So as radiance, the first step into your radiance is space. But you have to let that go too. Because that radiance, just like that radiant sun, as if there is no space between us. So space and time are part of that mind, the world of the mind. And then within this light bulb, the filament, you could call it your physical spine, but there's actually another spine. I call it the spine of your life. And this consciousness is allowed to inhabit the body that has been created, that is living, and food is the energy that supplies it. And the food for a light bulb is electricity. And one of the things that manifests in the world is things that you do in the world, what you give the world, how your particular radiance gifts the world in a world way, in an imaginative way, because it's all imagination. The world is what we think. And so the world is just our imagination. It's play though. We can play here. And we can let the spine of our life, what we are uniquely gifted here to do, come into the world as our radiance comes, as long as we occupy the radiant big eye and live from there, and it channels through us. And the world is constantly reminding me, hey, I'm still here too, I'm making noise. But I don't react to it. I don't get tight and I go, doesn't matter. It's perfect in a way. Now, if I had another expectation of perfection, that it needed to be really quiet so that I could convey my important concepts. This is where humor comes in our lives. Those concepts are not so important.